My theory on the first Americans coastal migration and early settlements. The current scientific consensus supports the theory that the first humans to reach the Americas likely arrived by boat along the Pacific coast, not by walking across land bridges. Archaeological and genetic evidence increasingly points to a coastal migration route that allowed early peoples to reach South America thousands of years before the interior ice-free corridors opened. The coastal migration theory. Recent research has fundamentally transformed our understanding of how the Americas were first populated. The traditional ice-free corridor theory, which proposed that people walked south from Alaska through Canada between retreating ice sheets, has been largely superseded by the coastal migration theory. Multiple lines of evidence now support this maritime route. Oceanographic evidence. Studies of Pacific Ocean conditions during the last glacial maximum show that there were specific windows of opportunity when coastal migration was favorable. Research by oceanographers identified two optimal migration periods: 24,500, 22,000 years ago, and 16,400, 14,800 years ago, when weak ocean currents and seasonal sea ice created favorable conditions for boat travel. Archaeological timeline. The ice-free corridor through Canada did not fully open until around 13,800 years ago, yet archaeological sites in South America date to well before this time. This chronological mismatch strongly suggests that people reached the Americas via coastal routes rather than inland pathways. Genetic evidence. DNA studies indicate that the ancestral population of Native Americans diverged from their Asian relatives around 23,000 years ago and entered the Americas sometime between 17,500, 14,600 years ago. This genetic timeline aligns with the coastal migration theory rather than the later opening of land corridors. Early settlements in South America. South America contains some of the oldest confirmed human settlements in the Americas, providing crucial evidence for early coastal migration. Monteverde, Chile, dating to approximately 14,500 years ago, Monteverde II represents one of the most important archaeological sites for understanding early American settlement. The site contains well-preserved evidence of a small community of 20-30 people living in tent-like structures along a creek. Remarkably, the site contained 9 species of seaweed and marine algae dated to 14,220. 13,980 years ago, confirming the inhabitants' connection to coastal resources despite being 60 kilometers inland. Cooper's Ferry, Idaho. Archaeological evidence from this site indicates human occupation as early as 15,280, 16,560 years ago. The stone tools found here resemble artifacts from Japan's Hokkaido region, suggesting possible cultural connections across the Pacific. White Sands, New Mexico. Fossilized human footprints potentially date to 21,000, 23,000 years ago, which would place human arrival during the last glacial maximum, when ice sheets covered much of North America. Advanced coastal adaptations. The early Americans who arrived via coastal routes demonstrated sophisticated maritime adaptations that enabled their success. Boat technology. Evidence suggests these populations possessed advanced seafaring capabilities, including the ability to construct seaworthy boats capable of navigating challenging Pacific coastal waters. The presence of marine resources far inland at sites like Monteverde indicates regular coastal inland transport networks. Marine resource exploitation. Archaeological findings show extensive use of marine resources, including shellfish hooks for deep water fishing, sophisticated net making using cotton fibers, and knowledge of seasonal marine ecosystems. The 11,500-year-old fish hook found on Cedros Island represents the oldest such artifact discovered in the Americas. Kelp highway hypothesis. Researchers propose that coastal migrants followed highly productive kelp forest ecosystems that provided abundant resources along the Pacific coast, creating a kelp highway that facilitated rapid southward movement. Early civilization development. Contrary to assumptions about technological advancement, some of the earliest and most sophisticated civilizations in the Americas emerged in South America. Norte Chico Corral civilization, dating to 3,500, 1800 BCE, this represents the oldest known civilization in the Americas. Located on Peru's coast, it included as many as 30 major population centers with monumental architecture, including large pyramids and sunken plazas. Remarkably, this civilization showed no evidence of warfare or violence, suggesting sophisticated social organization achieved through cooperation rather than conflict. Maritime agricultural economy. The Norte Chico civilization developed a unique economy based on maritime resources and inland agriculture, with coastal communities trading fish for cotton and other agricultural products. This integrated land-sea economy enabled rapid population growth and urban development. Technological innovation. Evidence from early South American sites shows sophisticated technologies including advanced irrigation systems, textile production, and complex architectural engineering. The civilization at Corral predated the Mesopotamian cities and was contemporaneous with the Egyptian pyramids. Timeline of early American settlement. The archaeological record now reveals a more complex picture of American settlement than previously understood. 25,000, 16,000 years ago. Possible initial coastal migration from Asia 16,000, 15,000 years ago. Established settlements at Cooper's Ferry and similar sites 14,500 years ago. Monteverde II occupation in southern Chile 13,800 years ago. Ice-free corridor fully opens in North America 13,000 years ago. Clovis culture appears in North America 3,500 BCE. Norte Chico civilization begins in Peru. This timeline demonstrates that South America was settled thousands of years before the interior routes of North America became accessible, supporting the coastal migration theory and explaining why some of the earliest evidence of complex societies appears in South America rather than further north. The scientific evidence overwhelmingly supports the conclusion that the first Americans were skilled maritime peoples who arrived by boat along the Pacific coast, reaching and settling South America well before interior North American routes became available. This coastal migration enabled the development of sophisticated civilizations that in some cases preceded and surpassed contemporaneous developments in other parts of the world.